it's not a weight problem. And if you've ever felt like you were doing all the things you were told, things that I myself have in the past told people, eat less, just try harder, um, and you're in this cycle of losing and regaining weight and still not getting better, this is why. So, this morning, I want to talk to you about why focusing on weight often misses the real drivers of diabetes and diabetes control, really. What's actually happening in the body with insulin resistance and what weight inclusive diabetes reversal really means in real life. So, if you've ever felt frustrated, confused, or felt like you were always blaming yourself, like you're always doing something wrong, stay with me. So, for those of you that are new here, I'm Dr. Jennifer Davis. I go by Dr. Jen. I'm a physician. I'm board certified in pediatrics, pediatric critical care, and lifestyle medicine. And I am passionate about making lifestyles simple and sustainable for everyone. Every Friday morning, I come here to talk about health and healing through a joy centered, evidence based, real life lens, because what works in theory has to really work for our everyday lives. So, one of the biggest misconceptions in diabetes care is that if someone just tries harder, if they're more disciplined, if they just eat less, lose weight, follow the rules more closely, then their diabetes will resolve. And what I've seen over and over again is diabetes is not a discipline issue. It's not caused by lack of discipline. And in fact, this often leaves, my patients and the clients that I work with feeling left out of the discussion, feeling like they just aren't meant to get better, or they're going to live a life on medication and just continually get worse. But what diabetes actually is a metabolic condition that's rooted in insulin resistance, inflammation, stress, sleep disruption, and truthfully, the modern food environment and our modern environment in general of convenience and, all the things that are around us that are setting us up for, bad health. Weight change can occur alongside healing, but that's not what we should be focused on. At least that's not what I think. And this has been proven in medicine. There are many studies that demonstrate that when you focus on the quality of the food that you consume, that you actually improve your health. There are studies that demonstrate that when you focus on lifestyle factors as opposed to weight loss, that the change is more sustainable. So this has really been shown to be true in real life and in the programs that I also teach. So when the body becomes resistant to insulin, our blood sugar rises. And insulin resistance is influenced by many things. It's really the process of uh, fat getting inside of the cells. And that can be because of many things. So, low fiber diet, consuming high ultra processed foods, also things like stress, poor sleep, inflammation, poor gut health. Inactivity, if we're not moving well throughout the day, which our modern lives, as I'm sitting here in front of my computer, set us up for this less activity and more sedentary lifestyle. And that's a big risk factor. But when we focus on improving these inputs in a sustainable way, when we focus on supporting our body, nourishing our body with foods that are healing, the body actually responds in a positive way because our human bodies are amazing. They're always trying to repair and regenerate and rejuvenate as long as we give the right support. And that's really the key is support instead of the common approach of, just willpower our way through or discipline our way through. It's actually more a support based approach and it's more loving, supportive approach and joyful approach. And that actually is more successful in the long term. So, what do I mean when I say weight inclusive diabetes reversal? And this is exactly what I mean. We target behaviors, we target lifestyle, we target environments that actually drive insulin resistance, not the number on the scale. So while the number may move when you support your body in the way that supports this healing, that's not the primary focus. Because when we focus solely on the scale, number one, bodies come in all shapes and sizes. That's just a fact of nature. And unfortunately, we have this idea in medicine that one particular body type is more healthy. And that's simply false. And it's been proven again and again and again. There are people that have skinnier bodies that have insulin resistance, and there are bodies that are larger that have insulin resistance. And it's not the body that is the cause, it is these drivers that I just mentioned before. So when we target these behaviors and the environments that drive insulin resistance, we actually see positive results. We see things like improving blood sugar control. We see decreased medication needs. We see improved energy, improved quality of life. And this ends up being more sustainable over time because you're actually targeting habits, your daily life. And that's where change becomes sustainable. And we don't necessarily ignore weight. I mean, I do ignore weight. I don't even own a scale. But if we can see results in weight when we do these things, but that's not the primary goal, and it's not the primary measure of success. So in practice, what does this look like? So one of the most important things, and if you've seen it in my videos before, maybe if you go back and look at my videos, I always talk about fiber. Fiber is above all of the nutrients that you hear discussed, is the probably the least discussed and probably the most powerful thing you can do. So we focus on a fiber forward, plant predominant diet that helps stabilize blood sugar and it helps promote healing in general. When we build meals for nourishment and flavor, not restriction, we see healing. When we focus on gentle, consistent movement throughout the day, that also improves insulin sensitivity. When we focus on managing our sleep, managing our stress, and sleeping restorative sleep, that is has positive effects. And so all of these things work synergistically together to improve your overall health and quality of life, but they are amazing in improving insulin sensitivity and helping you decrease again those medication needs and stabilize blood sugars. And the thing is, it's not about doing everything perfectly. It's not about measuring every number. It's not about, being very disciplined. It's about creating a pattern of living that supports health. And when we do this and we do this consistently, these habits build over time and again work synergistically to create healing. So I have worked with many people and I see this all the time with friends and family and clients and patients that we carry the shame that is brought in on by these standards that we have created. And really, it's unfortunate because it holds us back from making the decisions and making changes that can be positive. And many people feel that it's their fault, that somehow they are to blame for diabetes or their size or that their size is a problem. And what I find is when we focus again on these things, that you can see positive results without the shame. And truthfully, you can't heal a body that you're at war with. So if we're constantly focused on changing our body or beating ourselves up for doing something wrong, then it actually also creates more resistance to change through, stress and inflammation. And it just makes it harder to be consistent in making changes because you're always feeling like you're working against yourself. So healing requires safety, consistency, and support, not punishment. So if any of this I spoke about here today resonates with you, if you are struggling with diabetes, or maybe you have a family member that's has insulin resistance, prediabetes, or has been struggling with these concerns about weight, I have a program called the Joyful Metabolic Reset, and the next group starts January 12th. So you can click the link below and learn more about that. So this program is a physician led by me, weight inclusive program that's focused on reversing insulin resistance and improving metabolic health overall without calorie counting, without measuring the number on the scale, without measuring at all, truthfully. There's no fear based tools. It's a more supportive, joyful approach that actually promotes healing. And people have been able to get off medication. And one of several people have said that they've lost weight for the first time in their lives without worrying about the number, worrying about what they're eating all the time. And so there's many positive effects of approaching health this way. If you're not ready or if diabetes isn't an issue for you or you're not have pre-diabetes, I also have a community called the Joyful Medicine Method Community. It's new, but in there it is all tools to support healing, monthly meetings, lots of education and support. For January, we'll be doing a vegan January challenge or a plant-based January challenge. So hopefully you'll join me in there. That's another fun way to stay connected. But I am always here on YouTube. Next Friday morning at 9 a.m. I will be right here at the same place. So make sure to subscribe and share this with anybody that can benefit. So just to close this out, I want to just reiterate that diabetes is not a willpower problem. It's not a weight problem. I appreciate you spending time of your morning with me the day after Christmas. Join me again next Friday. Thanks for watching.